Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're digging into something really core, basic English grammar. So our mission today isn't, just to teach English 101 again.
No, definitely not.
It's more about pulling out the real essence of these rules as they discuss them, making it clear and showing you why these foundations actually matter.
Yeah, whether you're literally just starting or maybe you just want a kind of interesting refresher on the fundamentals, it's surprisingly useful.
Okay, let's get into it then. So, Smart Speak English, they kick things off right at the very beginning. Sentence structure.
The absolute bedrock.
And they immediately highlight that subject plus verb plus object order, SVO.
Yeah, SVO. It's like the engine, really, for so many English sentences. It just lays it out clearly. Who's doing the action? That's the subject.
Right.
What action they're doing, the verb.
The verb.
And often, what or who is getting that action, the object.
And Alex in the script gives this, perfect simple example. I eat apples.
Can't get much clearer.
Right. I is the subject, eat is the verb, apples is the object. Who, what's being eaten. Simple.
And then Megan adds another one. She reads books. Same pattern. Subject, verb, object.
Exactly.
It might seem, super basic, almost obvious.
Yeah.
But getting this SVO thing down is just crucial for building anything more complicated later.
It really is. Okay, so they've laid that SVO foundation. Then the conversation shifts to the present simple tense. Why is this tense the first one learners usually tackle? What makes it so important right at the start?
Well, the present simple is kind of your workhorse tense. It's what you use for things you do every day, your habits, routines,
Okay.
or just facts, things that are generally true. It's for all that regular stuff.
The script uses, I go to school and she drinks tea. So those paint a picture of regular habits.
Precisely. Daily life, routines. These examples show that connection perfectly. And it's interesting how this simple tense immediately gives a feeling of regularity, predictability.
Yeah, okay. And now, here's something that, it always seems to be a bit tricky for new learners. Remembering that
Third person, singular,
yes. Adding it for he, she, it.
That's such a tiny little sound, isn't it?
Yeah.
But grammatically, it's pretty significant. Think of it like a little signal flag.
A flag, okay.
Yeah, it tells you the subject is singular, and it's one of those he, she, or its pronouns. It's a key part of how English verbs change, conjugation.
Right. And the script gives he plays football. And specifically points out that saying he play football is wrong.
Exactly. That little plays it has to be there. It's just a rule. Non-negotiable, really.
Carries a lot of weight for one letter.
It does.
Okay, next thing Alex and Megan get into. Articles. A, N, the. These tiny words, they seem simple, but wow, they can be confusing.
They really can be. They pop up everywhere, and they tell us if we're talking generally or specifically. And then there's that a versus and thing.
Right, let's break that down. The rule for a. It comes before a word starting with a consonant sound, right? Like a dog.
Yes. The sound is the absolute key. Not the letter itself, but the sound it makes right at the beginning of the next word.
That's crucial.
Super crucial. Because you have words like hour, starts with H, a consonant letter, but the sound is a vowel sound, a mare. So we say an hour.
Ah, okay. So the script's example, a cat, is straightforward because cat starts with the K sound.
Exactly. They kept it simple to start.
And asoli then goes before a vowel sound, like an apple.
The A sound in apple. Again, it's what you hear, not just what you see written down. Learners really need to train their ears for that.
Good point. Ear training. And finally, the. When do we use the?
The is for specifics. When you mean a particular one or something everyone knows about or something you've already mentioned.
Like the script says, the moon. There's only one moon we usually mean.
Exactly. Or the sun. It signals something definite, specific. The script's examples, a cat, an orange, the sun, they cover those basic uses really well.
Very clear examples. Okay, changing tack slightly. Pronouns. Alex and Megan talk about common pronouns.
Yeah, the little words that stand in for nouns.
Yeah.
Super important for making speech flow.
Right. Stops us sounding like robots repeating the same noun over and over.
Totally. Pronouns are all about efficiency, making things smoother, less clunky. They're shortcuts, basically.
Okay. The script lists the really core ones. I, you, he, she, it, we, they.
Yep, the personal pronouns. Those are the ones you meet right away when you start learning. You've got to get comfortable with them.
Essential building blocks.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Knowing which one to use when is fundamental for making sense and understanding others.
And they give simple examples of how they work. Megan is learning easily becomes she is learning,
Mm.
and Alex is speaking flips to he is speaking. Just a
Yeah.
straight swap.
Perfect demonstration. Shows exactly how pronouns streamline things, avoid that repetition. Very practical.
Okay, the last bit of grammar this Smart Speak English conversation covers is common mistakes, which is
Yeah.
always useful, right? Seeing the common trip-ups.
Oh, definitely. Spotting those common errors early on, that can save learners a lot of trouble down the line, helps build accurate habits from the get-go.
So the script highlights 3 specific ones. First, fixing he go to school.
Ah, yes, back to that third person.
It should be he goes to school.
Sure.
Really driving that point home.
And it needs driving home. It's such a frequent mistake. So seeing it corrected explicitly like that, invaluable for a beginner.
Totally agree. Second mistake. I am agree.
Ooh, yeah, that's a classic.
The correction is just I agree. Why is I am agree wrong?
Well, agree is what we call a stative verb. It describes a state, the state of being in agreement, not really an action you do in the same way you run or eat.
Okay, a state, not an action.
Right. So usually we don't use those kinds of verbs with MSR plus the ing form in the present simple. It's just, I agree. Highlighting that helps learners understand there are different types of verbs.
That makes sense. And the last correction they mention, she don't like tea.
Another very common one with negatives.
The fix is she doesn't like tea, using doesn't for she, he, it.
Exactly. It nails down how to make negative sentences correctly in the present simple for that third person singular. You need doesn't, not don't. Fundamental stuff for speaking and writing correctly.
Okay, so let's recap our deep dive into this beginner script.
Wow.
We've looked at that core subject-verb-object structure,
The foundation.
the present simple tense, especially that crucial third-person S,
Can't forget the S.
using a, an, and the B, remembering it's about the sound.
It's a sound, yes.
Those basic pronouns like he, she, they.
Essential shortcuts.
And finally, those common beginner pitfalls like he goes, I agree, and she doesn't.
Yeah, those really are the absolute building blocks. If you're learning English, getting these basics solid is just critical. It pays off hugely in accuracy and confidence, too.
It really does. And it's kind of amazing how looking closely at a simple conversation for beginners, like the one in the script, really highlights the mechanics of the language.
Strips it back to the essentials.
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah.
How these basic rules then get built upon, layered to, let us say, much more complex things, express finer shades of meaning.
Absolutely. It's the starting point for everything else.
The script even hints that asking questions is the next step, which makes sense. So maybe the thought to leave you with is this. How does really mastering these fundamentals, SVO, present simple articles, how does that truly unlock the door to more complex, more nuanced communication later on? Definitely something to chew on after today's dive.